Hello and welcome to Bharat Mandapam. It's the AI Impact Summit 2026. It's a huge moment for India, but I dare say with artificial intelligence being of such critical importance around the world, it is perhaps time for all of us, wherever we are from, to look at AI, its prospects, its challenges, opportunities, and its dangers. Here in Delhi, there's going to be a Delhi declaration on AI soon. It's going to be about 3 sutras which tie on to 7 chakras, and each one has a vision which looks perhaps at the ethical distribution and use of AI, some of the challenges, opportunities, but ultimately it's about access and being equitable. We've got a wonderful panel with us, and I'd like to introduce them. To my right, Ivana Bartoletti, the Global Chief Privacy and AI Governance Officer at Wipro. Thanks very much, Ivana, for being with us. Alexandra Beck-Giorv is CEO of Sintef, one of Europe's largest research institutes. And Dr. Sandra Song is Dean of the School of Art, Science and Tech at University Canada West. Thank you all very much for being with us. Ivana, let me come to you first. We stand at a cusp when the conversation on AI a year later might be very different from the conversation today. And that's because the technology is growing faster, and some suggest it's becoming more dangerous. Is that your sense?
So I think it's going to be about capabilities of AI. And of course, AI changes rapidly and the capabilities will become stronger and stronger, and AI will be able to do more and more. Yes, of course, there are risks, and we have seen over the recent years, alongside the amazing things, we have seen some of the risks materializing, from disinformation to others. But I think the real challenge, and one challenge that India really is relishing, is about institutional capacity to govern all the capabilities that AI is bringing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But Alexandra, if I can just ask you, because it's been in the news all over the world, that AI and various systems, whether it's Anthropic, whether it's Grok, done by X, whether it's Chat GPT, going forward, these are replicating their capabilities every few months. And therefore, older iterations of the same technology is redundant. It's almost empathetic in its answers in cases. Is that a worry that the technology is growing faster than we know what to do with it?
Well, I think that's, of course, it is a worry. And that's why I think the Indian approach of strong institutions and governance and oversight is important. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm very impressed with what I see. I just want to compliment India on this summit. And of course, both the skills of humans and the control of the AI is something that we're working hard on. And we're here also to find partners to work together with India, because you're doing so much.
And Dr. Song, if we don't collaborate as a planet now, we're all going to be in trouble, because we all had that horrible moment of COVID in the past, and that was bad news for us. And nobody really believed that something like that could ever happen to us. But AI is upon us. There are opportunities and there are dangers. Without regulation, are we in deep trouble?
You're going to need regulation, but also you need to ensure that this regulation helps to empower the people and to empower the communities. So that moment through COVID, we managed, through our creativity, through our ways of looking at regulations, to help guide us through that difficult moment. So this is an interesting juncture to have this conversation, global conversation in India. And hopefully what will happen is some shared learnings and a strengthening of the ecosystems too.
Alexandra, one of the concerns is, of course, that there are companies and countries which will not share their technology when it comes to AI. It will not be equitable, because it's not profitable to always be equitable. The technology is evolving so fast that some countries and companies want to retain their proprietary rights. So if we are talking about equitable access to AI, is it essentially a dream?
So I think a lot of countries are dealing with this question right now. They're saying, okay, we can't talk AI without talking. AI is not just about technology, AI is about geopolitics, AI is about supply chain, AI is about chips. So of course there are issues around the allocation of all these resources. I think it's important to understand that each country is different and we can play in a different way. So for example, in India, you don't necessarily have to think about these large language models, but it's really about leveraging what you have. So it's about saying, well, we leverage the ability to scale up, we leverage the talent that you have, and we also work on applications, not just models, but applications that can help democratize AI by, for example, leveraging the local languages that you have. Like most of the systems that are in use now, they do not cater for what are the needs of different populations, different communities, working on use cases, specific use cases that can really benefit countries. So I think this is the challenge that we've got ahead, is how to make this equitable. And I think the fact that this summit is all democratizing AI, and it's not just about access, it's also about democratizing who designs these tools and who is actually able to have a say in how these tools are developed and then deployed.
I think Ivana made a very crucial point when she touched on supply chains and chips. Resilient supply chains is a problem. It's a problem for countries around the world, certainly over here. India and the United States, for example, are working towards a resilient supply of chips. So as we talk about AI, we can't but talk about the resilient supply of chips. And it's a basic question, where does it come from? If it's not easily available, what happens?
I think at least we are looking in Europe very much at our own supply chain, and even Sintef, where I had, are looking at strategic chips for critical social functions. How can we produce even in the labs that we have? It's a dire situation, and that's why the European collaboration on the CHIPS Act is important, and we are part of that. And of course, there are some vulnerabilities. And I think investments in democracies is very, very critical. I guess that's. I won't go further into that. But maybe we talk a lot about the worries, but we're also here. We work on energy systems, we work on the ocean's health and ocean industries. We work on the healthcare. There's huge opportunities, and I think the problems of centralization is really about monopoly power. Yeah. And I think it's not very complicated. It's a question of regulating monopoly power, and then you will be in a different place.
Sure. Dr. Sog, one of the most fascinating parts of AI, for me, is the issue of ethics and the issue of what is right and what is wrong, and who defines what is right and who is wrong and what is wrong. And I ask this because if you look at the battlefield in Ukraine, you've already got autonomous drones. They're autonomous because they're jammed very frequently, so they need to be autonomous in order to make decisions. But the decisions are frightening. Who lives and who dies? And therefore, as a professor yourself, how do you actually look at this from an ethical standpoint?
I think it's the concept of the social responsibility. That's my leaning, where when we're looking at, for example, technology, the advance of technology, it is about understanding who it serves, right, and who is actually empowered to use that technology. And I think part of the conversation here is to look at this at both the local and global levels and to see the impact at the community level. So again, I hope that when we talk about the ethics, we're bringing back this concept of human autonomy and agency. And hopefully that is going to be the positive moment in looking at the future forward a year from now.
A final question, the Delhi Declaration, is it essential?
I think it's very important to align behind the idea that we want AI to be used to improve our well-being, improve our welfare, improve the way that we live and we share our shared spaces. So I think it's important once you have places like this, and this is the first summit in the Global South. This is extremely important that it's the first in the Global South. And especially in contexts like this, it's really important you have leaders from all over the world in a world which is complex at the moment. So if you have leaders getting behind a declaration that really puts some principles around what we'll do. And it's not just a matter of legislation, because we can't change the legislation every time that there is a new piece of technology. It's about setting some principles that we can all get behind with.
Principles, very important.
I'm very
What
optimistic.
principles are you looking forward to most?
Oh, I think it's the chakras and the sutras are totally integrated. What you cannot. It's like the 10 Commandments in the Christian faith. You can't pick just one. They all work together. But I'm very optimistic. I think the best thing that happened in 2026 is the trade agreement between Europe and India. I think we have so much in common. Also on the fundamental approach to the ethics of AI, and also the appetite to use AI for good purposes. So I think it's a great place to be.
And as we wrap this conversation up, if you all take a look at the backdrop, it looks fairly stunning.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Beautifully lit up. And so welcome to India. And let's hope that this AI summit works out. Thank you very much for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you very much.